Hello, hello, hello. I am Christy from KT Treasures, and tonight we are going to be going over startup costs and what you really need. We want to remove any fear that you might have and possibly help you from not overspending. So welcome in. This is week 3 of Storage Units 101 from Lock to Profit. Today we're going to talk about the first big steps that stop most people, the startup cost. How much do we really need? What should you buy first? And how do you avoid blowing your budget before you make a dime? By the end of this, guys, I want you to be able to start out smart, safe, and ready to profit, even if your budget is tight. So, minimal realistic startup budgets. For a beginner, I would say $200 to $500 budget to get your foot in the door. That'll buy you a small unit, get you some of the basic supplies and gas to get there. If you've got a little bit more room, you may be able to start off with like 500 to 1200. And that's what I would call a committed beginner. I know one of the very first units that Tim and I bought was only $10. And it was literally garbage bags and everything was sprawled out. There was a great big green tank. I believe it's for welding or something, if I remember right. There was a very heavy duty cord in there. And we come to find out that it was a unit from a carnival person. And as we were cleaning the unit out, we kept finding bags of change everywhere. And we went home that night and we rolled all the change and we paid $10 again. And we rolled all the change and we had like $534 in change. That was just the change. The big heavy cord that was in there, we sold it for like $100. The big tank, I forget, I think we sold it around 100. I just remember on our first unit, we got really lucky and we made about $1,000. And that is lucky. You just never know until you get in there. So remember that startup cost. You got to remember, you got to cover your dump fees. You may need extra tools. You may even need like an emergency buffer for just your peace of mind, or if something goes wrong. At the beginning of last year at this time, Tim and I spent $10,000 plus putting a new engine in our truck. So, thank goodness we had that cash put away. In a matter of a month's time, I was joking with the guy. I said, I probably have paid all your salaries this month, because I think in the end, by the time we were done, it was around $15,000. And those are the type of things that can happen, but not as a beginner, not as a beginner. The key is start small, learn cheap lessons, and level up once you start flipping profit, from this unit, and then you can put that back into the next unit. Okay, there's going to be tools you need, and there's going to, this segment is called Tools Needed versus YouTube Extras. If you go to a live auction, you're going to need a flashlight or a headlamp. Tim and I never take them. We always forget. You're going to need gloves. When you're cleaning out a unit, some people just can't do it with their bare hands. They have to wear gloves. You're going to need bins. You're going to need totes. You're going to need containers, because you're going to want to separate things, and you learn as time goes by. We now know we need an eBay tote. We have, bags for garbage, and we have bags for donate. And then we now keep items for the dollar sale in totes and boxes that come in the unit. You're going to need cleaning supplies. Right now we have a few pieces of furniture on the trailer, and we're going to need to clean those so that we can list them. And my husband just walked in here. Did you hear the tape gun? We're going to need to clean those and put them on Facebook Marketplace and sell them. You might have extras. You might have a GoPro, a tripod. Maybe you have branded t-shirts. But that is not necessary when you start out. We didn't buy t-shirts until we were further down the road, guys. We had a brick and mortar. I remember the first time we bought shirts, it was because it was on a weekend that Waterfire Sharon was in downtown Sharon. And so we did do t-shirts for that special occasion. And that's the first time we did shirts. And we had been into this already a year to 2 years. And, GoPros, you don't need fancy cameras. I literally do everything on this, folks. My phone is everything. I record, I make my videos and everything on here. I make my thumbnails. I do it all from my phone. I don't use, computers and double screens and all this fancy stuff. Yeah, my YouTube channel in 5-6 years, I'm not where I want to be, but I've kept it simple for us. And who knows, maybe this will help me grow further. So there's a lot of extra little costs that you're going to incur, and you need to figure out, just some other we'll get down to like some of the hidden costs. I was going to show you something. The next big thing is, do you need a truck? Do you need a trailer? Do you need an SUV? So I kind of want to show you what Tim and I started with. Hello, everybody that is here. Thank you. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and then I will chit chat when we're done. Let me just see. This is what Tim and I started with. I literally had a soft top Jeep Wrangler 4x4, and we had a 4x8 homemade trailer, no lights, just a big orange triangle on the back. And that's what we started with. And then we went and we built up cash, and we bought our first truck, and we paid cash for our first truck. And then we bought our first trailer, and we paid cash for that trailer. We built everything up. Then we went to, now we did buy our first truck with cash. But let me show you, we ended up going, and then we did end up buying a Ford F-150, and that is what we have now. So here's the Ford F-150, and that is what we have now. And then when we bought our first trailer, it's a black trailer, and we do still have that. But what we found out was it was not tall enough. Tim kept hitting his head. So he would wear a yellow hat. You might have seen him in videos where he was wearing a worker's yellow hat because he kept hitting his head and skinning his head and everything. So then we knew we needed to switch to, when we bought our second trailer, we did pay cash for that also. And it's kind of like that one, the white one there is what we had. We paid cash for that also, but we made sure that it was an extra so that Tim does not hit his head anymore. So, so yeah, that's how we started, and that's how we build up, and we're at now. So if if you have an SUV, you can start like that. You do need to remember, if your SUV is really, really nice, maybe you want to line the back of it with a big tarp, because you're putting stuff in there from a unit. It could get very dirty in there, okay? You don't need, I remember Tim and I bought units, and when we still had the Jeep and the little trailer, so we rented U-Hauls, okay? We didn't do that right off the bat, though. We used that Jeep and that trailer for as long as we could. And then when we bought a bigger unit, we did rent the big box trucks is what we did. But remember, you don't need to rent. You don't need to buy fancy transportation. You wait until this side hustle pays for that upgrade. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Hidden and real costs new buyers forget. So dump fees, we have talked about this a little bit in the past. Maybe you can't have a dumpster like what we do. We have a dumpster. It gets picked up once a month, or once a week, excuse me. It gets picked up once a week, and we do pay $130 a month for that, or $180. One of those two, folks, okay? Now, remember, you got to pay for gas in your vehicle to get there and to get back home. So, you need to be thinking, are you going to do mileage for your taxes? Are you going to do actual cost for your taxes? You're going to need to figure that out. What about storage? Where are you going to put it? So you may have to pay $0 to $300 a month to store something. Sometimes people rent the unit, and that's an extra cost to rent that unit for a month in order to take the time to clean it out. You want to start small in the beginning. I cannot emphasize that enough. You want to start small, little 5x5. Give it a try before you jump all in. We built a shed here this past summer, and but in the past, we have had storage units. We still do have a storage unit over in Girard. We're building another building so that we can bring home all our Christmas items that are in that storage unit. And so we can be out of that this year. Things just didn't work out for us last year with Tim's knee and his hand, and everything was supposed to be out of there, but it didn't happen. Excuse me, 1 minute. There are the last thing to think about is there are platform fees. On eBay, we have a store subscription, and then you pay fees. You something, and they take a portion of that. So you need to remember that. There's other platforms that do charge fees. Facebook Marketplace is one where you don't have any fees withdrawn from whatever you sell. So that is a nice place to sell. Whatnot, they take fees from us. Like tonight, we're going live on Whatnot at 7 p.m. and we're starting everything at $3. Everything is brand new, and we're doing reduced shipping, where if you buy something, you're paying $9.21 for everything you buy tonight on our Whatnot show. Remember, you got to, here's a saying for you: small leaks sink ships. And that's all these little costs that come up. Tim and I, just for instance, we buy boxes from Uline. When we first started out, we were going to Dollar General in the back and digging out boxes from their broken down box carts. Something as simple as tape. We have a very large stash of boxes and tape and things like that. We have to buy this. We have to keep this on hand. Bubble wrap. I mean, if you're an everything seller like us, you have to have bubble wrap. We buy the small bubbles and the large bubbles. We do get ours at Staples. We always watch for they usually have a thing where you buy two, get one free, or buy one and get two free. And right now they have that at Staples. So that's another cost. We also use poly mailers. So these are poly mailers. And then we also use padded envelopes and we buy those. So there's another cost. And then just another cost is something as simple as this. Put in all of our packages just a thank you for your purchase. I think the next time that I get these made, depending on how this year, I am going to get whatnot put on there. So all these little things you need to be thinking of. They add up. They really, really do. You know, here's my favorite part, building your confidence fund. And this is like $100 to $300 cushion for stuff you didn't expect. You know, we've had flat tires. You got to go get a flat tire fixed. Maybe you need an extra dump run. It might be that you're at an auction. Oh my Lord, I didn't bring locks with me. So now you got to buy a lock from the facility. You know, and even just as big as an engine replacement, you know, just 2 weeks ago, Tim and I had to put another $1,800 into our truck. We needed brakes and we needed all 4 new tires. So you've got to have a cushion, a buffer, some money sitting there for emergencies. You know, the big thing with this is confidence doesn't come from luck. It comes from being ready when problems show up, folks. You need to be ready when problems come up. All right, so let's remove some fear and overspending, okay? Look, I get it. That first unit can be intimidating, rolling up the door, the dust is flying, and not knowing, is it going to be gold or is it going to be junk? But here's one thing, remember, every unit teaches you something. It doesn't matter what unit we do, it teaches us something, okay? And your fear is going to fade as the processes come to you. You know, we have processes for listing, for shipping. You know, when I'm right here to the right of me is my shipping station. I'm literally standing in one spot. My feet never move. I can reach my bubble wrap, my paper. I can reach my boxes. I can reach right down into the container here and grab poly mailers. You know, it's important to come up with processes for everything. You know, even in cleaning out a storage unit, we just did one a couple days ago. And we thought we were going to process everything down there. But there were so many clothes that we ended up just sticking all the clothes, if they were in totes or baskets or whatever, we stuck them all in black bags and they went in the back of the truck so that when we came home, I could bring a black bag in and go through all the clothes and keep or donate whatever, you know, I keep the stuff to put on eBay. I got like 150 pieces of clothing to list out of this unit. We paid 140 for the unit and we really, really did well. This ended up being a really good unit. We left all the furniture in there and we went and picked that up yesterday. And so now all the furniture we can deal with and the unit is done. Tim is actually in the living room and he's working on listing all the miscellaneous stuff from this unit. So we really have learned over the years how to break everything down. And yeah, we're chasing the treasure, but we're also chasing the systems. So, you know, you don't need thousands to start, guys. I mean, we started out with $10 and what we had. You know, maybe you start putting away, maybe by the time summer hits, you want to buy your first unit. So put away $20 a week. And by the time summer gets here, maybe you can have $500 to attend that first auction or look at that first unit online. But remember what I said, start small, 5 by 5, okay? Focus on the essentials, okay? The essentials. If you know you're going to be grossed out, make sure you have gloves. You know, you don't need the fancy truck. You don't need all the shipping supplies. You know, how many of us have things shipped to us every week from Amazon, Walmart, whatever? Keep those boxes, break them down, make a stack, start storing them. Get a big black bag and put the paper that they send in those packages. We've done that. Literally filled up bags with the paper we get in those, okay? So focus on those essential tools that you know you're going to need. Make sure that you track hidden costs, okay, before they surprise you. Create and keep your emergency buffer, and you know, keep it there. Like, we have a buffer, it always sits there. You know, we have that special money bag where the money always sits there. You know, stay patient, not fearful. You know, guys, today, if hearing some of these things sent off a light bulb, it helped you, it showed you how simple and doable this might be, make sure that you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, which most of you that are here are probably subscribed. And, you know, next week, we are where to buy storage units. So, guys, we're going to actually be showing you where to buy storage units. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek at just one place. Where's it at here? At one place. Oh, where's it at? Here it is. At one place where we do look at units, folks. And this is storagetreasures.com. But if you've ever wondered what all the sites are, next week I'm going to be sharing all of those with you. And there's a lot. You'd be surprised. I know there's probably 6 that I'm pretty sure there are 6. This is a main one that most people use, storagetreasures.com. We do have a membership with this, so this is another hidden cost. We pay a certain amount every month to be a part of Storage Treasures, because in the end we save on our buyer's premium and other things. So yeah, that is one site that we use, and I will be showing you next week. You're not going to get to see a lot of my face next week. You're going to get to see a screen like this, and we're going to show you all of the different sites that are available. So remember, don't wait for perfect. Wait for the door and get there and see that door roll up. And you know, you might not score every time, but you learn, and if you learn, you'll make money no matter what. So that right there is the end of my presentation for this week. I hope that you'll come back next week for the next part of it. But at this point, I just want to say hello to people that are here. Regular Guy Barbecue, hello. Flutter Yo, hello. J&J Family Finds, hello. Thank you for being here. Hide them from Chrissy if you want to save them. What? Seashell Treasures, hello. Where do you find the best place to sell clothes? I sell all my clothes on eBay. And then anything that I don't sell on eBay, I actually just donate to the church down the hill. They help out the community. They have like a thing weekly where the community can come in and get things, but then they also send things overseas. So I really, really like them a lot. I'm going to go back up. My goodness, what I miss. Sorry, guys. I just, in the beginning of the live, I really want to do what I'm doing. And then I want to then have a good day, treasure freaks. Yeah, we're not going to be here too long because we have a live on Whatnot, like I said. So we're going to be selling at 7 p.m. on there. And we're doing reduced shipping, which I'm really excited about. So yeah. But thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Regular guy barbecue. It's been a minute. You miss buying storage units. I get it. You know, when we're done buying storage units, that's going to be tough. I don't know. I'm probably going to miss it too, but maybe by then I'll have figured out, like, I can buy a unit and still be there to go through everything, but have somebody else like load everything, you know? It has been a while, Flutter Yo. It has been. I just sort of gave up. And, you know, a year ago at this time, I put together this whole thing where I want to bring women in to inspire other women to either start their own business or start life over. Even at, I started over at like 48, and I want to show people it's scary, it's hard, but you can do it. I think a lot of it is personal attitude, but we're doing this 12-week series on the Storage Unit 101 from Lock to Profit. And then after that, you know, maybe I'm going to go into some sort of Whatnot series, because Pat Dees would like to come and I would like to have him to just teach some things for Whatnot, which I have been really, really working hard to learn because I want to make it work. I really sat down and I want to make this much money on Whatnot in a year. So I know how much money I need to make each month. And I did it by the month, because the first week I went on, which I got rated by Treasure Hunting with Jeebus, but I had like a $500 show. And then the next week I only had a $200 show. 30 people have it bookmarked tonight. We'll see what happens. But I do want to bring people in, and it's not that it needs to be about storage unit buying. It can be reselling. It can be, you know, I don't even know, you know, wouldn't it be so cool that a year from now I could have somebody like Mel Robbins on my show, you know? So none of it easy, but no job is. Big thing is you get to set your own hours. Yep. And reap all the rewards. I agree. You know, just like tomorrow morning is just a prime example. I'm getting up early, which I get up god awful early every day. I was up at 3:30 today, but I get to go be with my granddaughter. And actually she's coming back here with me because she has remote learning, and she has remote learning tomorrow because of the cold temperatures. So she'll be doing school here while I am working because we have our Whatnot show tonight. We will be doing all the packages tomorrow. And today was a holiday. So we have a lot of mail to go out because today was a holiday. So yeah. So how cold is it there? I think it's probably down to about 10 degrees, but it's supposed to get colder. And then with the wind chills, it's supposed to be like -20 tonight and tomorrow. So hopefully the truck starts okay and I can get to my daughters. 7 degrees, J&J said. Woohoo! And Tim and I were outside today, and I'll tell you what, we went out and did different things. You know, we brought in purses to sell tonight. Yeah, brand new purses are going to be in the show tonight too. For starting at $3. And if you buy 5, you only pay $9.21 for it all to be shipped to you. We're going to take a chance. You know, we've been learning a lot about whatnot from a lot of people. And, you know, reduced shipping is something that we really want to do so that possibly we can grow more. So, yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, 0 feels like 15. Oh, 4 above today. Oh, Friday our high is to be negative. You know, Regular Guy Barbecue, I remember when we came to Wisconsin and we were coming home and it was in the winter and I saw negative 18 on my truck temperature and I almost died. I think I still have a picture of it because I had never seen that in my life. Negative 18 degrees was the temperature. That was the temperature. Like what? So yeah, I don't know how many women are still here, but like Flutter Yo, I would love to have you here. You know, you started a YouTube channel as a woman who does fishing and outdoor things. So when I'm done with this 12-week series, I am looking for women that can come and talk about what they do and possibly inspire other women, you know, no matter how old you are. I'm 55 and gosh darn it, I'm not giving up. There are people in my life that tell me I need to slow down, but why would I? Why would I? Why would I? I mean, do I hurt sometimes? Yes. Backaches, more, you know. You'll be 47 in June. And yeah, you started a YouTube channel, and a lot of it I know is based on your fishing and outdoor adventures. And it'd be so cool to have you here to share that because I would love to hear about stories and how you got started and where you think you're headed with this or whatever. So, yeah. So what is everybody doing this week? Everybody staying in? Yes, I would love to have you, Flutter Yo. I really would. And I want to have like J&J, and I won't ever get Becca on here. I don't think Becca would come from Vandy Treasures. And I know like I want to have Beth from the Hudsons, but I'm going to look outside of this niche. I want to look at, you know, like people like Mel Robbins that inspire people to live their best life, no matter what that best life is. Yes, work this week. LOL. Second Whatnot show tomorrow. I saw you guys are doing more Whatnot shows. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm excited. I know what you guys are doing. I've been there. I just don't say anything. But I know you guys are really, really looking for property, and I know that will change your guys' life. I know it will. I know what it's done for us. You know, we were able to build that shed. They're building that other building this year. Not as big as we had originally planned. Oh, we have 3,000. Yeah, from that one unit. You still have 3,000? You guys just sold some the other day. You were selling like large flat rates, I think, of the die cast. Wow. Holy moly. Yeah, I saw that show. That's a lot of die cast. It is a lot of die cast. Yeah. Yep. So I saw that Regular Guy Barbecue has a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff to go to. I do want to say, everybody, please pray for Douglas that's been here since the beginning. He told me today that he hasn't called me because of the flu, and his doctor is actually putting him on a liquid diet today for 4 days. So there must be something really, really going on there that they're putting him on a liquid diet. Oh, sometimes I think that's what I need to do is just, go on a liquid diet. But I really tried to change this year, trying to work out every day and write every day. And yeah, more seashell treasures. I know I need to call you. I know I need to call you. I promise you, we are getting the dogs as long as somebody will bring the dog to us Thursday. So her daughter has an emotional support dog, and she got a hold of me because she knows we're going to Florida. We're leaving for Florida on Friday. So she asked if I would pick up her dog and bring it to her. Why not? So the dog is coming here on Thursday night, and then we'll be traveling with us south with Austin with AJ, with AJ and Tim and I. I will be here next Monday. My background will not be this. You guys will see palm trees. You guys will see palm trees behind me next week because I will be in Florida. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're helping Austin move. That's why we're going. So we are going to see our 2 granddaughters, my oldest son's kids, and well, my oldest son and his wife's kids. We're helping Austin move, help him pack his car so he can head to Tennessee. And then anything that we're bringing back for Erica or to store for him will be coming back with us in our trailer. And we're crossing our fingers that we can, of course, you all know us. We're traveling. What are we going to do down there? What are we going to do down there? We're going to have to buy a storage unit. I mean, we went to Las Vegas and bought a storage unit. We have to try. And if you notice when I shared, let me share screen with you again. You'll notice when I shared screen with you, look at the zip code, Asheville, North Carolina. Looking at storage units. I'm not going to knit. I used to knit. Hopefully we're going to buy something. Hopefully. Wave it. I know we're going to actually pass Beth and Jim. Beth and Jim are in Florida right now, and we're going to pass them coming back as we're going. With the big storm that's going through, we've already decided we're going out and around. We are not going through the Virginia mountains. We know it's going to add extra time, but with taking the truck, the trailer, we're going to have 2 dogs. I don't want to get stuck along the road. So we are going to go out and around the mountains. So yeah. Yeah, a lot going on. Everybody has a lot going on though, right? Don't we all? We all always have a lot going on. Yes, playing it safe, not taking any chances. Need to get down there. We do plan to see Nicole and the kids, but we probably won't see them until on our way back. And that would be Storage Brats, guys. So we'll definitely, we were going to stop and see her on the way down, but with having an extra dog, I just don't feel comfortable taking an extra dog. I know she doesn't mind AJ, but I don't want to take another one. And honestly, I would really like to just get to Florida because that will give me more time with my grandchildren. And that's what I want, more time with my grandchildren. What do you mean alongside the road in the mountains? I've been through the mountains all. Yeah. Well, if the roads are bad and I go down a steep embankment, I might be stuck there. No, we wouldn't be stuck there. But, well, guys, it is 6:24. I am going to probably end here because I do need to go in. Everything is set up for whatnot in the living room, but you know, those last minute things. I want to get the lids taken off. And yes, you need grandchildren. We just had another grandchild a couple days ago. Tim's daughter had a little boy, Ryder. So he was just born not even a week ago. So we do need to get over there to see him, to meet him. So, but yeah, they very unexpected. She actually had a car accident, and because she went to the hospital, she found out she was pregnant because of the car accident. And she was actually like 6 months, had no clue. So you got to rent them. You can come rent mine, okay? I'll allow you to rent mine. Layla would love it. Well, guys, I do think I am going to say goodnight. I want to make sure I'm ready to go for the Whatnot show. If you haven't signed up for Whatnot, maybe Tim, are you listening or not? He must not be listening. If you go into one of our videos, like a video came out on Thursday and the Whatnot link to sign up is in there. I haven't figured that out on here, which I need to do. But yeah, everybody have a beautiful week. We'll be here next week and we're going to be showing you where to buy units, all the online sites, how to find live ones and everything. So I hope you'll join us. And if you're interested in after this 12 weeks, I know, right, Tim? You're supposed to listen to your wife. If you're interested in coming on after these 12 weeks to share something or to talk about what you do or inspire or whatever, get a hold of me, reach out to me, and we will. How does Whatnot work? Whatnot works, it's kind of like a live selling platform. So basically, I'm on a camera just like this, and I'm holding up something, and down at the bottom, you swipe on the yellow bar to bid, and then you can have it mailed to you. Or when you sign up, you can actually do you sign up, and then when you go into, like, say you live here in town, we have people that live here in town. So they go to their wallet and they mark they're gonna pick up. They mark we're picking up or whatever it's called. And then they just give me the 4-digit code that they get, and then they pick it up whenever they want. Like Lori, she gets stuff all the time, but I only see her, especially in the winter, once every 3 months or something. So I take stuff to her or she comes and picks it up. But there are local people that just come to my house and get stuff. So, but that's how it works. It's an auction right there. So yeah, you must be there for giveaways. So like, say you enter a giveaway on a show, you need to stay in that show until it's drawn. Or when you pop out of a show, you don't, if your name isn't going to come up. I think it falls off or something. All right, guys, I do got to go. I got to go get ready for this Whatnot show. I have about a half hour. God bless. Hope we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for being here, folks. Bye-bye.